In this segment, we'll give you steps on how to take your printed designs and, using your cutter, cut a contour around the printed design. What items are covered in this segment are first, how to create a cut line for both vector and bitmap designs. Second, we'll show you how to create registration marks and the purpose for them. Then, after we printed our design, loading the material, and finally sending the contour cut line to the cutter. Well, let's go over creating a contour cut line. Now, a contour cut line is a line that is used by i-DesignR Pro to cut around the image that's set out for printing. Well, because of this, the line is usually dashed, not because it's going to cut that way, but to let us know that its purpose is for contour cutting a printed image. Since the cut line is based upon the contour of the design or the design itself, generally creating a cut line is the last step you take prior to sending the design or the cut line to the printer or the cutter. Therefore, the steps required to create a contour line around a design starts once our design is completed. Now, here we have such a design that is ready for us to generate a contour cut line. It's a simple text, but it will demonstrate to us the different methods on generating contour cut lines. There are several ways to generate a contour cut line and several options as well. The first method is to take a current line that you have on the design and convert it to a contour cut line. This is great if we want to use a shape to be our contour cut line. For instance, by clicking on the Shapes Flyout toolbar, we can click on the Ellipse tool, draw an ellipse around these letters, and then once the ellipse is set around the design, we can convert it now to a contour cut line. We do this by clicking on the Selector tool, which will automatically make the ellipse selected. Next, we'll go to the Cut pull-down menu and then select Contour Cut On and Off. Now you notice the ellipse is no longer solid but a dash, indicating that this is now a contour cut path that is going to be used by the cutter. Now, any vector shape can be converted to a contour cut line. Let's create a rectangle. Then we'll give it rounded corners. And now we'll convert it to a contour cut line by clicking on the Cut pull-down menu and then selecting Contour Cut On and Off once more. And there we have it. So that's one method. And what this allows us to do is to create any shape that we want and make that our contour cut path. Most of the time, though, we'll want to contour a line around the objects themselves. In other words, a line that is shaped to the design that will contour around the shape itself. To do this, once again, we'll select our text once more, click on the Cut pull-down menu once again, and this time we'll select Contour Cut. And as you can see, it immediately creates a contour cut line outside the text. Now, if you look at the Smart Bar, there's quite a number of settings here, but we'll only concern ourselves with these two settings for right now. The first one is this offset value, and the other one is how we want our cornering. Well, the offset value is the specified distance between the object, or the text in our case, and the contour cut line. As we increase the value, the contour cut line is spaced out further from the object. As it spreads out, you'll notice that the contour cut line will weld into each other. In other words, you won't have several objects, it'll weld into one object so that we have one decal, which is kind of nice. Then, if we decrease the value of the contour cut line, it will become closer to our text to the point where the value is set to 0, where it's writing right on our lettering. In this case, let's set our offset to 1/4 inch. There are times where we'll want the inside of these letters, or any object for that matter, where there's white space, to be cut out. Well, that's what this inside-outside check mark is all about. If we check this by clicking on it, now we can see that there's contour cut lines inside the letters or anywhere there is room, as in the case of over here. Finally, there is the cornering types. Generally, rounded corners is what you would choose to smooth out the contour cut line. If you have block images where you have a lot of corners, then really you want your corners to be sharp. And then we also have chamfer in certain cases. You'll have to play around with these in order to get the correct one. Now let's do something a little different. We'll uncheck the inside-outside check mark and then set the offset to 0. And what this does is it places the contour cut line right on the edge of the lettering. Now you may want this, but this can cause some problems. While this print cut process is highly accurate, there's no guarantees that this cut will be dead on. In other words, if you're printing this on white vinyl, there is a chance that you may see, and it doesn't take much, a little white space or a sliver of white. Now there are two ways to overcome this. The first method is used for most vector objects like the text we have. And what it is this bleed value here. If we increase this bleed, it will spread out the outline of the object beyond the contour cut line. So we'll increase the bleed value to 0.1 and notice what happens. Now we're almost guaranteed, because the print is going to go beyond the contour cut line, that there will be no slivers of white once this is weeded.
Thank you for watching. For more information, please contact us today.